Hello Travellers, so today I thought we would do just a really quick video showing you a comparison between the small and the medium nature hike camping mat, or what do you say, a pocket mat or a picnic mat. It doesn't really have a specific name, but basically it's a thin nylon sheet that you can use to separate yourself from wet grass, or in this case loose debris or sand. I did buy both of these on AliExpress with my own money, so my thoughts and opinions are my own. There are links down below if you would like to purchase it on AliExpress as well. First off, these look a little bit different than they do on the actual listing. So on the actual listing, they are shown, this is the small size. The small size is shown like this, as like a palm-sized blanket. And you can fold it down that small, as you can see, but I guess they've decided to put it into a new type of packaging. So now this is the small, which is still very small, but it's much thinner. I suppose if you fold it like that, it's a little thicker. But yeah, I'm not sure why they decided to package it in this way now. So they've got the logo here, and you fold it a couple of times. Now I don't think there is a right way up. I think you can use it either way, but on all the advertising pictures, they use it with their logo facing up. And if you look at the material here, you can see that the top side is a little nicer finished, whereas the underside, the seams and the underside of the fabric. So I guess they do intend for you to use it on this side up rather than this side. So let's go ahead and try that. So one thing I notice with this is that, yeah, it is very thin, but I think the size is pretty good. So as you can see, the size is actually not too bad. This is the small, by the way, and I can fit my bag here and myself. Obviously my legs aren't going to be on the mat. I think if you're just having like a small picnic with a friend, this size could be perfectly suitable, because you could sit one person here and another person here. Your legs probably wouldn't be completely off of the grass or whatever, but I think the main part of you that you really want to keep dry is your ass. So yeah, this does a pretty good job for, I would say, 2 people, 1 person, or even if you cross your legs. I'm fully on the mat, and I would say there's enough room for another person to do the same as well. So there's almost enough room to lie down on this one, but you wouldn't again get your legs on the mat. So the small is probably more for just sitting. There's another thing I wanted to point out here, is that if you look on each corner, you'll see that there is a little loop here. You can see there's loops there on each side. And that is so that you can put a stud through this. And they're actually designed for camping pegs. So if you happen to have camping pegs or anything that is similar, you could put that through here and then through the ground to keep the mat from blowing away. That's the idea of it, I believe. Now, as you can see, because of the static, a lot of debris is stuck at the bottom here. But it should be fairly easy to shake off. The main negative with these is figuring out how to fold them up again. So I'm just going to give it a shot. I think it's up. So the way you get the actual bag on there is that it's open on this end, and then you got to kind of tuck it around over itself. There, and there you go. So that is the small size. So that was the small size. Let's give the medium size a go. And you can see that the medium is probably only about 10% bigger in terms of its folded size. And again, this one shown on their website is folded in half like this. So it looks a lot smaller, the medium, on their listing than it actually is. We have the little loops here for the stakes if you want to nail it into the ground and give it stop it from blowing away in the wind. And once again, you have a logo side here and then a smoother side. And I believe they intend for you to put it down with the logo side up. So this is the medium size, and obviously for comparison's sake, I'm going to unfold the small size. All right, so that is the small size there. So as you can see, just like when they're folded up, the small is just that little bit smaller than the medium, but yeah, it does give you a slight bit more room. And they do have a large size, so the small, medium and large are the 3 sizes available. Okay, so with the medium size, again, it's probably big enough for 3 people, I would say, if you're sitting, or even possibly 4 people. It's definitely big enough for a bag and a person. If you lay down diagonally, I think you could get your whole body on there. So I think the small is a really good size if you're just going to be kind of using it to separate yourself from the ground or at the beach or something like that, and you just don't want to get the sand or the wet grass to affect your pants or whatever. Okay, so the final test I have for this is a water test. I have some water here and I have the bottle shower here. Now, by the way, I will be doing a full video on this here, the bottle shower, very shortly, but essentially it is a shower head that fits into different size bottles and reduces the flow time, so a small amount of water can flow for a longer amount of time. It's going to try that on in here. This one fits nicely on the Platypus 2-litre bottle. Got a bit of water in here. What we just want to do is see how waterproof this mat is. So the top side with the logo seems pretty good. Now I do want to try the opposite side here and just make sure that it is a 2-way water resistance. Yeah, so you can see that on both sides the fabric is extremely water resistant and water will just run off. So if you're going to be using this on wet grass, for example, the water won't seep through and it will be very effective in that way. And the other good thing about this is you could also use this as a potential, like a rain shelter, a makeshift rain shelter, or even a makeshift rain jacket, or like a kind of umbrella. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold this up. Again, I'm not sure where to start. I think it folds in the middle first. It's in there fairly nicely. A little bit messy. Alright, so that was just a really quick look at the 2 different sizes, a little bit of the waterproofness and the different use cases for the nature hike camping mat or pocket mat. Again, it doesn't really list exactly what it is on the site, so call it whatever you will, but I think for the price it's pretty cheap. It's pretty affordable, not too expensive, and I think it's good to have in your bag, even just as a makeshift sort of rain cover, or to separate you from the ground. But it's not super necessary, but if you do sort of sit on the ground a lot, then I think it would be really handy, especially like good for picnics and stuff like that. So do leave a comment down below which of the 2 sizes you would like if you were going to buy this for yourself, and be sure to stay subscribed to keep up to date with future videos.